This may sound incredibly unbelievable to somebody young these days, but did you know that back in the day, we were actually able to have a passbook, a bank savings account through our school? What are you talking about, Jan? Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Jan. Welcome to another episode on this channel, the Save Money More with Jan channel. How you doing today? Back in the ancient times of the 1960s. Anytime I say 19 anything, it sounds so long ago. But when I dial it back, not just 1990s or 1980s or 1970s even, but rolling it back to the 1960s when I was a little girl. I mean, like a little girl going to school, okay, to elementary school. There was such a thing as a bank book. What is that now? The bank book, of course, was connected to a bank, and our teacher gave us the bank book option. And of course, you sign a form with your mom and dad, and then gave it back to the teacher, and then it was processed with a bank. And every single week, we had to turn in, optionally, of course, if you wanted to save money. I'm not even kidding you. Save money, put an envelope with the bank book in the envelope, okay, with the amount of money that you're sending in. So cute. I remember sending in my quarters, or if it was a really, really good week back in the 1960s, a dollar or two. I mean, that would be an excellent week when you were a kid in the 1960s for sure. But every single, I believe when I was going to school, the collection day was a Thursday. Who out there listening remembers having a passbook savings account that was distributed out, collected by a teacher, given to the bank once a week, and get a load of this? They would return to you the book the following week with the increase showing. And I oftentimes used to joke around, like with some people that I know, that, back then tellers processed by hand the book. It was not on a computer. They would take a passbook. Like, I don't know if you know what a bank book looks like back from the old days. You may want to look that up and see a picture or something like that. And they would take that book and it would show all the transactions in there. And we noticed and joked around, like when there was more money in it, there were a lot of asterisks next to that next to that number. I laugh now, but that was amazing. Why did we go away from emphasizing certain good habits? I think that was incredible. Everybody was happy when they got their passbook savings account back. They looked at it and went, yay. And they knew that their money was there. And of course, it was their money. So as you accrued it, you did what you wanted with it. Like if I wanted a favorite toy that I saw on a commercial, or I didn't have to, tap on the bank of mom and dad. No, because then I would take, a little bit of my allowance, and I wanted to put it into my passbook savings account as a child. So cute. Wouldn't it be great if we had something like that today? Of course, you wouldn't get a passbook, but maybe in an electronic manner or something like that. And here's proof positive that we used to do that. There was actually, believe it or not, just came to mind. There was actually an episode on one of my favorite shows from back in the day, a classic show called Leave It to Beaver. Okay. And Beaver wanted to withdraw $10. I think it was 10 or 20. And he went half with his brother Wally to surprise the dad and buy the dad a hunting jacket. I don't know if it was for Father's Day or just because the dad was looking, Mr. Cleaver was looking for a hunting jacket. And they thought that it would make a great gift. They got into a lot of trouble with the school though, because they sneaked out at lunchtime to make the withdrawal from the bank. And the bank teller notified the school about the $10 withdrawal or whatever that number was back then. That was considered a large amount of money back then. So the school was notified, and the school contacted, of all people, the parents. Okay, and it came to Mr. Cleaver's attention about this sneaky withdrawal in the middle of a school day. So there were a lot of reasons why, the dad was originally mad. He was really upset about that. And little did he know that on his way would be a delivery of a beautiful box, and hiding in that box was the surprise gift that Wally and Beaver wanted to chip in for, the hunting jacket. If you've ever seen that episode, every year I watch it. They usually play it near Father's Day. Every year I watch it, the reaction of everything, it literally brings a tear to my eye. It for so many, many reasons. Of course, the way it reacted, it's just I don't know the name of the specific episode, but there are some channels out there that continuously play that that show all day long, 24/7. You could look it up. But I don't know the name of that specific episode. If I ever find out what it is, or if I ever find it, then perhaps eventually I'll hook it up somewhere on a community tab or somewhere else. But that's a reflection of that there really, really was such a banking system back then. Well, I'm not familiar with what goes on in schools today, but obviously, there's not going to be a passbook like that kind of an account. Those things are really, like, really relics, if you will. I mean, a time capsule of the past. Just imagine people making bank transactions with a thing called a savings passbook, going directly to a bank. No tap, 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 tap. No, 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 no. You had to go to the bank, you waited online, and the hours were very strict here in New York. I'm not sure about across the whole country, but I could assure you the hours back in the day, that's why there's that expression called banker's hours. Ever hear that expression? And bank would open at 9 a.m. and close sharply at 3 p.m. You didn't get there on time, tough toenails. And maybe if you were lucky, this is the truth. I believe on Friday afternoons, they kept it open till 6 because anticipating people that received a regular hard copied paycheck. There wasn't anything called direct deposit back then. I know, I know. I'm going back in history. Now, with all that extra work and anticipation and all that, people still had ways to save. As a matter of fact, I believe in my heart of hearts that because there was that structure, that I don't know, was like a structural thing, Monday through Friday, 9 to 3, except for Fridays till 6, stuff of that. People kind of, in a way, not realizing it, they were kind of like forced to get things done. Where today, don't get me wrong, being able to do all these things online is definitely convenient. I mean, not everybody has that hour to find their bank, stand on a line. You see where I'm going with that. But what's missing, I guess, is that little bit of structure and so on and so forth, which serves as a good reminder. But we have easier ways to save today, and yet, and still, and it makes no sense to me, and yet, and still, people come up with excuses. How come back then, literally, there was no excuse? How come? I don't know. I know, of course, not everybody was a saver, and even some people just could save. Everybody could save only what they could save. Okay, but it was so fun going to school with your little envelope and your little savings passbook and your little quote end of quote deposit. People were depositing things so small as 25 cents to teach the children good savings habits. There is something to be said about that.